Hello people, today we're doing leopard kitties. These are kitties that have high hopes of becoming leopards, I guess. So let's get started. Okay, so I only had to do fills this time. That's why you're still seeing my partial part of my nails from last time set. And you might be shocked to know I am using a nude for my base color. This is the second time I'm doing this voiceover now. I did the entire thing and it did not record. So I was so, needless to say, pissed off is an understatement. As I'm sitting here recording this, it is 108 degrees in this room and I just want to be out of here. I guess we're having summer is having its last hurrah here because we've been in a big heat wave for a week now. And we still have like 3-4 days left to go before it starts to wind down back into hopefully the low 90s and maybe upper 80s. That will be pleasant compared to this. Anyway, we're going in. The reason I chose these, I wanted to do a kitty set this time, and I didn't know what to do with it, so I pulled out my sticker/decal books, excuse me, and I was leafing through there looking for the kitties I wanted to use and ideas when I came across the two decals that I picked out, and that's where that came from. So here we go with coat number 2. While you're watching this part, at the very tail end of this video is one of my resin projects that I did, the first one I did that I'm actually proud of. It is a set, it's a succulent bowl that I made for my daughter for her birthday, because she is one of those people that no matter what she does, she cannot seem to keep plants alive. So I figured, well, she can have this sit on her desk and at least will be green. They may not be alive, but at least she can't ruin them. So I was so happy with how they came out that I've got a couple of more in the works that I'm going to be doing for the upcoming craft show I'm going to be doing next month. I believe I talked about that last time. I will be posting a flyer at some point when I get the finished one from the lady who's putting it on. Anyway, that's neither here nor there. I will have my nails there on my original sets. If anybody's in the vicinity of Fontana in SoCal, you want to come by next month, I shall be there. Okay, moving on. These are part of the decals I picked out. We got a leopard French, and then we got these cute little kitties. Starting with these French decals, I have had these for, I want to say, 5-6 years at least. When I first started getting into nail art, I was getting stuff from Wish, and this was part of, I ordered like a decal pack of like random decals, and it came in these little decal sheets, and there was like a stack of them, like maybe 1.5 inches high, for I think like $2, $3, whatever it was. It was really cheap, and I mean it's got hundreds of them. So I have, okay, every now and again I've gone through and used some of them. These are part of that I had never gotten around to using. So this day was the day for them. I didn't know what to do with those kitties. I wanted to use those kitties, but I had to come up with something to do for them because I didn't want to have them just floating in the middle of my nails. So this is what I decided. Okay, we're going to do these in an assembly line fashion because I wanted to get out of there as quickly as possible because it was hotter than hell in here when I was doing these. I think it might have been 105 when I was working on those. That was a few days ago, so it's been slowly getting hotter all week. Supposedly yesterday was the hottest. It was 111 yesterday. So we're going to be ramping very slowly back down into, like I said, what I'm hoping is going to be the low 90s, high 80s by middle of next week. So we're just going to put these, I had to do a little extra water on these because they're so old that it just took a lot longer for the water to soak through the backing paper. As you can see, it did not want to come off. I just needed to give it a little extra water and give it a little bit longer soaking time before it would release. And now I started off blotting off the excess water with a tissue. Then as we went along, I just started using my finger to blot them off, and it worked just as well. We're just going to stamp this on. Actually, I'm going to go from the underside and look at it this way because I was trying to get the edge of it to line up really well with the end of the decal to line up with the end of my nail, is what I'm trying to say here. Now, I don't know if it's because these are really old and they didn't have like a lot of gluey stuff that wanted to stick on there. So I had to get them positioned where I wanted them and then just let them sit there and dry really well before I did anything else to them. But we're going to, in the meantime, we're going to keep going with the assembly line. We're going to get these set up for the next one. Soak it, move it, pull the last one down, and keep moving. Now, these are going on all my nails, but I'm only going to show you guys one hand as usual. Now, I thought about painting the underside of my nails in the same shade of brown that is in the leopard print, just to make them look neater. But by the time I got to the point where I would have been doing that part, I was already so hot and aggravated. I just wanted to be out of the room, so I ended up not doing that. Now, this particular one just gave me a lot of trouble getting it to stay where I wanted it. And moving on. We get the next one loaded up. And bring down the last one, and boop, there it is. I forgot to tell you guys that these took me 2 3/4 hours to do this whole thing. From when I started, not counting the fills that I did the day before that, but just for the nail art. Now, I don't know why it seemed like it took so long. It should have been much quicker than this. I think it's the crystals again. Those darn crystals always take me so long to get put on here. I kind of hated to see that last set of nails go. I was really liking the way that yellow, encapsulated stuff with the weeds in there. I was really liking the way that looked. I'm going to have to do encapsulating more often with some glittery stuff because I like that a lot. I just don't like the thickness of the nails that I get when I do encapsulate. It makes them so bulky. Even though I try really hard to keep them thin, somehow they just come out really bulky all the time. And when I've trimmed these off, when I do my fills, I trim off some of the free edge because I don't need them to be quite that long after they grow out. Too much water. So where they're trimmed off now, they're super thick on the ends. The index fingers are the worst. They're really chunky and thick, and I hate that. I just hate the way they look and feel like that. But it is what it is. So next time I'll be doing whatever I'm going to do for my Halloween set. I don't know yet, but... And FYI, you guys, these have black cats on them. They are not Halloween nails. I mean, you could turn them into Halloween nails pretty simply by painting some little Halloween accoutrement on the on the cats, like maybe a witch hat, or maybe wrap one up like a mummy, or I mean something. You could do it if you really wanted them to be that way. I did not. I'm not doing Halloween yet for a while. I don't know why everybody's jumping the gun with that one, but I'm not going to be one of them. Okay, these have dried now, mostly, and I'm just taking my 240 grit edge file, finishing file. Now see, you can see how that one doesn't line up all the way to the edge. And I'm cleaning off the excess. Now, filing it off like this works. It took longer. What I started doing as I was going along with these later is I got out some acetone and my cleanup brush, and I just ran that with acetone along the bottom edge of the nail, like from the underside along that edge. I did a couple of swipes of that, and then let that dry off, and then I only needed like 1 or 2 maybe swipes with the file to get it to bust through there and come off the excess part. Also with the acetone, it kind of seals the edge of the decal down. It kind of melts it to your nail a little, so it seals the edges down really nicely. I don't know why I didn't start off doing it that way. I guess I figured I could just easily do it without doing all that, but turns out I just should have went with the normal way. Now this would have worked better too. On some of these I didn't quite let them dry long enough because I just wanted, as I said, I wanted to get done and get out of here. Now I've got to trim some of it off with the scissor, and it was just becoming more of an effort than it should have had to be. So that's the way I've learned how to do nail art, you guys. I know what I want to accomplish, and I just keep doing trial and error with different things until I get that thing to happen. And when I find something that works, then that becomes my way of doing it. So, like I haven't said in a long time, but I mean, most of you guys know I'm totally self-taught. I have learned how to do all this stuff through trial and error, as I said, or watching other YouTube videos. As you can see, the one on my thumb is halfway off. I fixed that. Okay, I finished all those now off camera. Everybody's good. Now I'm putting a top coat on them, because I was afraid that those decals were still going to move around on me when I tried to stick the other one on top. So this way they're going to be sealed in. I don't have to worry about them moving around or coming off or anything happening to them. Now, as you can also see, my top coat is splitting again, and I don't know why it's doing this. I just don't get it. Sometimes it does it, sometimes it doesn't, and I can't figure out what the difference is. Now, I did see something recently where they said to wipe your nails down with alcohol before you do the top coat, and it keeps it from doing that. But with the decals on here, I didn't want to try that because I just was afraid it was going to ruin them. So I just had to keep wiping over and wiping over until I got it to stop splitting. And then when I did get it to stop splitting, I had to hurry up and get it in the lamp before it split open again. Now, one thing I have found is if you make it really thick, it doesn't split. But I didn't want all that bulk, and I didn't want to have to do filing on top of there again. So I was trying to keep it thin. Now, I don't know why this didn't get edited out, you guys. I am sorry. I could have sworn I took all this part out. But you're going to have to sit here and look at my freckly arm while that's curing in the lamp. It's too late for me to change it now, so I'm sorry again. But here we go, about to be through. There's where we are so far. We've got the French part on there. Moving on to the kitties now. Okay, we're going to work on these the same way as we did the other ones. We're going to load them up on the stamper heads and then keep going in assembly line fashion. Now these guys are newer. These came from AliExpress. So these are probably maybe about 6 months old maybe. So they're fairly new. So these worked much easier. And of course I'm just stamping them on there flat so they're not you know, they're not going around an edge and all that other nonsense. So I'm just going to stand him up right on the smile line. And boop, there he is. Little kitty. Okay, there he is. Now we're going to move on to the next one. These guys went on nicely. I didn't have any wrinkly problems. I didn't have them moving around on me. They stayed right where I put them. So at least I had that going for me that day. Hey, this guy is lying down, so we're going to lay him along the smile line just slightly off to the side because I want his head to end up in the middle of the nail. So I'm going to go just a little bit off with center with that one. Okay, there he is. And we're moving on. As soon as I'm done playing around with those, we're moving. I don't know why I keep pressing them. They're on there really good. They're not moving at all. They weren't bubbled. They weren't wrinkled. Okay, I had to figure out which one I was going to use on the index finger because I had only cut out one row of those. That only left me with 4 kitties. I liked this laying down one, and I liked the way that he was going along the line, the smile line, so I opted for another laying down guy, but going in the opposite direction. So that will be the index finger when we get to that one, but first we got the middle finger ready to go now. Dab off the water. And sit him down right there on the middle. Okay, there he is. Moving on. Oh, we gotta load up the last one. Okay. And this one is going to go the opposite side, slightly off-centered, so his head's in the middle again. There we go. Then we just have to do the thumb. I have got, this is the biggest one, obviously going on the thumb. And then we'll be ready to move on. Oops, I think I had too much water still on there somewhere. There we go. Okay, there's where we are so far. Now we're going to be ready for the top coat. Now this is going to be some of these nails, this will be the final top coat, and some of them they're going to get one more after a while here. Now I did not have as much of a problem with splitting on here, on this layer, just a tiny bit over the top of where the decal was, and I'll sort that out as I go. Oh, there's our hair for the video. Okay, once I get this on, we're going to cure these and move on. Now you could be done right here, and they look fine, I guess. But you guys know me, I got to have my bling. So for me, they look a little unfinished, but you know, a lot of people they'd be fine for. A lot of people don't like the embellishments and the extra stuff on there. You could paint something along that top edge too, or do something like that, but I like my bling on there. Just trying to get it to be smooth with no splits, and then it will go in for curing. I will clean off that stuff around the edges, or I have slopped polish on my fingers. Okay, in we go. Okay, I've cured those now. These are what we're using. I've got some jet black ones, and I've got some topaz looking crystals. And we've got some gunmetal caviar beads. And our trusty gem glue. And we're just going to put, I'm just doing a simple cuff on the ring fingers, the index, and the thumbs. I'm only going to show you the one on here because you guys have seen me do the cuff a million times now. I'm going to start off with the topaz in the middle. There's going to be 5 on this end index. And we'll alternate out from here. And then on the thumb there's 7 crystals. Well, I'm calling them all crystals. These black ones are not really crystals. They're just like jet black, like beads kind of, but they're shaped like the crystals, but they're not glass like the crystals. Is what I'm trying to get out. And apparently not doing the best job of it. Now I went with these topaz ones with the black because I wanted to break up the black. Originally I was just going to do all black, but I thought that was going to be a little too much. Now and also I don't have that many of these black ones. I didn't have like varying sizes. Mostly the ones I have for the black ones are the teeny tiny ones. I didn't have like enough varying sizes to do all of them anyway, so alright, we're going to get these lined up where we want them for the most part, and I just got glue on my pinky. Now I'm going to have some issues with stuff sliding around here because I've got pretty much more glue there than I really need, and secondly, being that as hot as it is, I think it's just my glue is just like looser, more runny than it normally would be, so stuff is sliding around. But I'm going to just get these caviar beads on here in the vicinity of where I want them, and then I will move everything around and do the final adjustment. Now these are what I consider to be medium-sized caviar beads. I did not have any of these in the teeny tiny ones. The real teeny tiny ones are the ones I really like to use for this kind of thing because they seat in between the crystals much better, in my opinion. These are just a skosh too big, I think, for this, but that's what I had. And I didn't want to use the gold ones because that would be too goldy. So that's why I went with these. And frankly, I don't think I have any more of the teeny tiny gold ones either now that I'm thinking about it. Now also, when you're lining these things up, you're looking at it from this top view. Make sure you look at it from the other angle too, because if you just look like this, it'll look like it's centered, and then you're going to turn your hand up the other way and you'll see it's not centered. So always look at it from both ways. Now watch. See, now it's not centered. See how it's off again now? Now it's got to scooch over that way to the side, the whole thing, because now it wasn't centered. Now when you look at it this way, see, now it looks like it's off again, but it really isn't. So now we got to get everybody scooched back to where they're supposed to be. Get all the caviar beads to sit where I want them. And let's see, now it needs to move upward towards the cuticle edge more because now there's too much of that showing. So now we got to scooch it up a skosh. See, now everybody's got to move up. Move it up there. Now we're going to have to turn it back around, and I'm going to have to readjust. I'm not going to show you guys all the other ones, that just this particular nail, because they're all exactly the same. On the other finger though, I did alternate and start with a black one in the center and go out from there. And then on the thumb I went back to the center one being the topaz. cleaning the excess glue off my fingers now. And adjusting everybody again because now it's moved. And we've cured it. Okay, the final top coat. We're finally there. This I'm just butting up against the edge of those. This will help to keep the caviar beads secured on there a little better. And also cover up the gluey mess that I created while doing this. And those will be cured, and there we are. We're done finally. Woohoo! Okay, there we go. This is a very different look for me, color scheme wise, but I don't know. I don't know if I'm liking it that much yet. Anyway, if you guys like it, please give me a like. I really do appreciate it. It means the world to me. And here we are all done. And I do upload a new video every Saturday for those of you that might be newer. So you'll get something new once a week. And upcoming here in about 2 seconds, you're going to see my succulent bowl. Ta-da! Anyway, that's all I have for you this time. Next time I got something cool. Hopefully it's going to work. But see you guys next week. Bye-bye.